So are you here? Are you really present here? You know, one of the wonderful things I've learned about unity is that every awakening happens right here and right now. So let's just become present and aware right here and right now by taking a breath together. And as you exhale, allow yourself to recognize that this is where your life is. You know, we don't breathe 10 minutes into the past or 10 minutes into the future, that to allow yourself to be present right here for this holy adventure that is your life. My life is a holy adventure. My life is a holy adventure. So let's begin our service by that affirmation, all right? My life is a holy adventure. Yeah. And do you find yourself saying that about your life? The understanding that your life is holy and that it is an adventure? Or when you say that, do you think, who in the heck are they talking about? My life, a holy adventure? But I'd like to prove to you today that the events of Holy Week, Jesus being this example of how we can live, these lessons that we learn in Holy Week, allow you to be free to live that unlimited spiritual potential that is your divine inheritance. Sounds pretty good. And that your life is a holy adventure. See, here at Unity, we see Jesus as the example and not as the exception. And we can pretty much call Holy Week Jesus Week. You know, it was all about the most important aspects and the most important teachings that he was saying, these and greater things shall you experience. And here at Unity, we call Jesus the master teacher, the way shower, our brother. And so we want to understand what it means that Jesus is our teacher. Okay, so let's just use the example. Let's say you're coming and you're showing up for a class. All right, you've got your pencil sharpened, you've got your notebook, you've got your highlighter, you're all excited. This is a new class, you've signed up for it, you've been thinking about it for a long time, and you come to class and you're sitting on the front row and you can't wait to learn. And your teacher comes out and says, I'm the teacher. I got a lot of information and I know it and you're never going to be able to figure it out. You know, I've got all this wisdom, but you're not smart enough, you're not clever enough. You may be able to talk about it, but you're never going to really be able to experience or live it. Nope. You know, you can take pictures of me around, put them in your wallet, put them on walls, put them in churches, put them all over the place, and you're going to worship me, but you're never going to be able to live this thing. You're never going to be able to figure it out. And you with your little sharpened pencil, you might as well just put it away because you're never going to get this. Would you ever sign up for a class like that? No. Would you pay money for a class like that? Would you put your time into a class like that? No. But isn't that the way that Christianity has been taught to so many of us? That it is a guy that we worship from long ago, that maybe someday he's going to come back and what? You know, but he's come back as you and as Graham and as Phoebe and as Matt and all of us. This Christ consciousness is how we live this holy adventure. And my life is a holy adventure. One more time. My life is a holy adventure. Okay, so let's look at the lessons of Holy Week and see how this works. Because the idea is that your life is a mystery to be lived and not a problem to be solved. What a concept, right? It's a mystery to be lived and not a problem to be solved. So you came here today in this sense of, I want to grow. I want to know more of this holy adventure. So let's look at these lessons of Palm Sunday. The lessons of Holy Week, and starting with Palm Sunday. So Palm Sunday represents Jesus has come into Jerusalem. And he is basically saying, here I am, Lord. And he is showing up for life. So this message of Palm Sunday is that we want to show up for life. We want to recognize the gift that we bring. See, there never has been and never will be another you. You are the unique, incredibly unreplaceable you. And so you showing up in life is part of your spiritual responsibility. Now, for so many of us, knowing who we are is not so clear to us. So we can know a lot about what we aren't more than what we are. So a big part of often showing up is looking at the ways that we hide from this truest essence of who we are. You know, if we want to be healthy in life, if we want to experience health and show up more healthily, we want to quit hanging out at the donut store, right? If you want to go to perhaps the gym. If we want to look at an addiction that we're dealing with, if we're dealing with some kind of habit we don't like, we want to not hang out in those places. If we want to quit drinking, let's say, we don't want to hang out at the bar. We want to look at the people that support us in sobriety. And if we're feeling lonely and we don't feel attached, and we come and we be part of community. I'd like you to reflect on why you came here to Unity Temple this morning. You've all showed up today for your spiritual life. What brings you to church this morning? Very few people, I've never heard anybody say they come to Unity because they feel guilty, because they're going to get hit by this lightning bolt if they don't, by God, if they don't come to church. So what brought you here this morning? It's that sense of wanting to grow and of wanting to know more, of showing up. Now, Jesus had spent 40 days and 40 nights in contemplation, in the wilderness, but in this contemplation of who he was before he showed up. So sometimes in our showing up, we want to really be able to have that stillness and listen to that still small voice as we're coming and showing up into the world. And then the other thing that Jesus experienced on Palm Sunday was that the universe plotted for his good. He showed up in Jerusalem, and the people were saying, "Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord, Hosanna in the highest." And the Pharisees said to the people that were saying that, "That's blasphemy. You shouldn't say that." And he said, if they didn't say this, the rocks themselves would cry out. He knew that the universe, the world, plotted for his good. And when we try something new, can we come to know that the universe plots for our good? That as we try that new thing, whether it's, something you want to write or a class you want to take or an experience you want to have, if we just take that first step, and often it's just coming to a spiritual community such as this, we'll start to notice how we read something that was right about what we were thinking about, or the next conversation we have as a person that says, "Oh yeah, I've been thinking about that too." Or you get a phone call from somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, and you see how the universe is wanting to support you in showing up.